Now, some people actually emailed me that the pictures are not the same and so on. This was not supposed to be, the web course was not supposed to have any lecture notes, because that's why I developed the book. However, we don't have the book until maybe tomorrow. Hopefully it will be coming. That was a mistake, failure of miscommunication between the bookstore and the publisher. Hopefully we'll have it, they send it, so hopefully we'll have it tomorrow in the bookstore. And you can see whatever I say is written in that book. That's why I developed the book. Now if you have water in your garden and you put the hose to the neighbor and you get the water from the neighbor, it's not good. So as long as you don't have the water, you can, with permission, of course, and you can ask water from your neighbor. But when you have water, your own water, then it's not good. You have to use your own material. That's why we have our own material. I can show you pictures, but if I put it on the web courses, it's not good. Nobody likes it. I also don't like it. Somebody puts my material in another university. But we use it for purpose of education. However, now that we have, it's really put those materials. So we better use our own material, and hopefully when we have the book, that you won't need those lecture notes. Today, however, perhaps I have to go strictly on the lecture notes and show you the pictures because I don't have the camera. Now we came to the, who was that guy? Was he somebody? People are not doing the job correctly. Yeah, there was one point that I wanted to mention here, and perhaps yesterday I did not mention it. That was in this cycle, and there are two terms that also you can find it in the book, I think. There's sacralization and lumbarization, or maybe it's a question over there in the book. By the way, those questions, self-study questions in the book are very important, and I want you to go and look for those questions. So not to rely only on one book or one source or myself. Sometimes, you just go, not a lot, but 2-3 questions, the topic put over there, and I want you to go and look for these questions, answer those questions. If I am talking, just write it down over there somewhere, or you have some inputs on those questions. Sacralization of L5 means that the L5 vertebra actually fuses with the S1. So then we have 4 lumbar vertebrae and 6 sacral vertebrae in this case. And that actually becomes one of the bones of the sacral. Lumbarization is the opposite, when the S1 actually detaches from the sacrum and becomes a bone for itself, and it seems that we have 6 lumbar vertebrae now and 4 sacral. So this is called lumbarization of S1. And sacralization is just the opposite. Sacralization of L1 is when of L5 is when the L5 fuses to S1. And yeah, so these are some, may not be congenital malformation, these are some degenerative processes that occur in the vertebrae, and these might be accompanied by pain and various types of signs and symptoms, sacralization and lumbarization. Okay, we briefly, we actually went over these muscles pretty intense, but from here actually we were a little bit in a rush. So these two muscles are a little bit deeper, the serratus posterior inferior and serratus posterior superior, because we have the serratus anterior as well, and I think I showed you here we have the serratus anterior, and that is a major muscle which is also involved not really that much on the respiration, but because it is actually connected to the ribs, it could have some effects. However, this is mainly involved in the elevation of the arm above the 90 degree, and this is one of those muscles that I told you yesterday. If it's damaged, or the nerve to that, which is called long thoracic nerve, then the person may have a wing, the scapula. The scapula may bulge out from the back. Same is true for the rhomboides muscles and the nerve to these muscles. If those are damaged, then the scapula actually comes out a little bit, wing with the scapula. But then we have to see the differential diagnosis that which is affected. We will discuss that later on. The latissimus dorsi muscle we discussed yesterday, so it has several sites of origin, and it inserts onto the humerus just beneath the intertubercular groove or beneath the lesser tubercle somewhere here, and there is a yellow line. And it has several functions that we discussed: abduction and lowering of the arm, medial rotation of the arm, extension of the arm, and it raises the lower part of the body. As well as we said that it is an accessory muscle for respiration, especially when you expire the air out by coughing, and then the muscle is called coughing muscle. And the nerve is thoracodorsal nerve. Again, I have to mention you that these numbers are not always necessary to be learned, only the name of the nerve, except I really ask you that you need to know this number, then you go and memorize. Well, if you have time and you want to learn these, that's not bad, but this is not necessary. So the serratus posterior muscles are accessory muscles of respiration, although they are also helping with some movements here in the trunk, but mainly these are accessory muscles of respiration. Especially they become functional in chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases, COPD. These are a group of diseases like asthma, emphysema, bronchitis, and so on. So those diseases, we will come back to those when we are in the respiratory system. Yes, and then we come to some muscles that are collectively called erector spinae muscle. Erector spinae muscle are two groups, and one of them is lateral and the other one is medial. This lateral group is more superficial, as you can see. So very superficial, really, you have the iliocostalis muscle. So iliocostalis, we have from the lumbar part, this is called iliocostalis lumborum. And the distinction is not really, there is good distinction, but not clean water